Hello and welcome back to Hop to the Top. Hope you're all doing well today and you are excited because potentially we could be doing the Swiss double today by winning the Swiss Cup and winning the Swiss Super League, both with wins against Luzern. Now, before we get any further in today's episode, you may already be thinking, Tom, what's going on here? It says here, Valencia 1-0 win. You beat them 2-0 last episode, and yes, that is true. As you can see, it does say we beat Valencia 1-0 through a Randy Schneider penalty, which also didn't happen last episode. Now, I mentioned this on Twitter the other day. If you don't follow me on Twitter, go and follow me on Twitter at TomFM_YT. I post some good stuff on there. But literally, about 20 seconds after I finished recording yesterday's episode, the fuse box in my house tripped and all the power went off. So, computer turned off, obviously. Now, my usual process when I record videos now, because of things that happened in the past that have gone pretty wrong, is that I stop recording after each individual game and save the game. So I've got that bit of recording saved, because in the past we've had episodes where I've lost everything because I wasn't recording properly and things like that. It's not worked out, you know. Anyway, to mitigate those sort of things, after every single game, I stop recording and save it, just so we've got that bit of footage saved, the game saved, and things like that. Now, after the Valencia game, obviously I stopped recording. About 20 seconds later, the power tripped, the whole computer turned off. So once I turned it all back on, the save file I had was after the Basel game and before we took on Valencia once again. Now, the positive thing about this is, obviously, that didn't really affect anything massively because we still beat Valencia and Arsenal still went through as well. So nothing's changed in that regard. It's not like it was, I don't know, before the Basel game, and that changes every other league game that went on over that Basel weekend. So it doesn't really affect anything massively at all. But also, the silver lining in it all is because if the power had gone off when I was saving the game, because I was about to save the game, but if it had gone off when I was physically saving the game, and then the game turns off when you're saving it, I think that is genuinely how save files corrupt, and we could have lost everything. So very lucky in a way, very lucky. But either way, it didn't change anything. We just have a different result against Valencia now. But just thought I'd clear that up because I know a lot of you be like, Tom, what the hell's going on there? It's a different result. Are you cheating? No, the power went off. Anyway, we played one game in between episodes and we demolished Young Boys 3-0 with Bernard with a brace and Capitano with a goal as well, which means that we're going into the penultimate game of the season against Luzern after the cup final. We are 5 points clear of Young Boys. If we beat Luzern, we will win the Swiss Super League with a game in hand. So a lot to play for in today's episode. And the lineup for the Swiss Cup final is a bit of a tired one, I've got to say. We had to put a full strength lineup up against Young Boys to ensure we won that game. Because if we lost it, they would have gone ahead of us in the league table and probably would have gone on to win the Swiss Super League. So we had to win that game against Young Boys. It means we had to play a full strength lineup. It means a lot of players are quite tired. So we're going to have to really focus in today's game and try and work our magic to try and beat Luzern. So we've got Class in goal with a backline of Guardado, Ross McQuaid, Haroldinho Bunt and Felipe Cruz. Haroldinho Bunt comes in for a very tired Sterigu, who should be on the bench actually. Although he is quite tired, he's the only player that I'm confident in properly replacing at the back because both these players are very, very good. We have got a very tired centre midfield partnership of Bernardo and Randy Schneider. Bernard, Alex Smith and Capitano in the attacking midfield trio, and Matthew Bottles leads the line for us today. So then kickoff is upon us and I'm looking forward to this one. Hopefully the fourth Swiss Cup final in a row that we're going to win. Luzern are going to be doing everything possible to try and beat us out there, but we want to do the double. We want to try and win as many trophies as possible. And obviously, the Swiss Cup is one that we value very highly. As Guardado gets on the end of that ball, plays it up towards Bernard, who can swing that ball across to Capitano, who can put it in towards the middle, put it out to Felipe Cruz instead, who can put it into the middle, collected by the keeper, though. Where is this highlight going? I'm not a fan of it so far. Nothing's happened. Does this mean there's going to be a big counter-attack from Luzern? As their number 12 is through behind the defence, gets the shot away, but Class makes a good save. I've got to say, Luzern have been pretty impressive the past couple of seasons. They are challenging in European football, obviously getting through to the knockout stages of the Europa League this season, which was fantastic. Obviously, they do pretty well in the league as well. Not so much this season, but in previous seasons, they have been trying to challenge for those top three spots and have in the past, of course, got to the Champions League, I believe. And obviously, I want Luzern to do well. I want them to upset the balance of Swiss football, get Basel and get Young Boys away from the top three because we want Luzern to be a very good side. But obviously, we want them to not play very well in the cup final today or in the game we play against them in the league, because we want to win both the league and the cup today. So fingers crossed that happens as we enter half-time. Still 0-0 with them. No score for either side as Haroldinho Bunce plays it out towards a very, very tired Felipe Cruz, who might have to come off the pitch soon because he is looking quite tired, as Ross McQuaid on the ball plays it up towards Bernard. Bernard up to Bottles. That's a fantastic ball. Was he not offside? I don't know. Might go to VAR. It's a straight red card for the Luzern player. That's played into our hands massively. I thought it might go to VAR because it's on the edge of the area, but it hasn't. No highlight at all either. So, if we don't win the game in 90 minutes now, I'll be very upset as Felipe Cruz plays it in towards Alex Smith, as we've gone to very, very attacking now, as Felipe Cruz in towards Guardado. Guardado to shoot. He does shoot. And only a second goal of the season, but what a finish that is from the Mexican. Let's watch this one on the replays then, as Felipe Cruz runs forward, just plays it straight across to him in acres of space. And he... Now that was an audacious attempt, but he's pulled it off and scored potentially goal of the season with that one. So what we're going to do in the meantime is go off very attacking, go back towards positive. Let's not play risky. We're winning now. Let's make sure we stay winning. As Alex Smith gets on the end of that ball, gives it away back to the keeper there, who hoofs it up, but only as far as Paulo Bernardo, who plays it in towards Bernard, who can put the ball into the middle, clear, but only as far as Bottles. Bottles back into the middle, cleared. Good opportunities for us, but we just can't quite get that killer ball into the proper man without it being cleared. Capitano back to Felipe Cruz, who we're going to take off in a moment's time as Bernardo puts that ball over the bar. Right, Felipe Cruz off for Navio. Jerome Bernard's looking tired as well, so we'll bring on... Oh, I thought we had Tim Wright on the bench. Clearly not. Coley can come on for him, and then Schneider will come off for Drazen Juric, who's played very well when he has played this season. So with 15 minutes to go in today's game, the scoreline is looking a bit shaky, but in terms of the stats, we have absolutely dominated today. 19 shots to 5, 70% possession to 30% possession. If we somehow lose it now, I'll be really cross as Navio looks to put a cross into middle. Alex Smith is there, can't quite get on the end of it. And Luzern looking to have a bit of a counter-attack. Haroldinho Bunt says, no, you're not counter-attacking. And Capitano looking to play the ball back a bit more centrally into Paulo Bernardo, who gets it out towards Elhaj Coley, who I would imagine will go and leave the club this summer. But I've said that probably the past 2 or 3 seasons and he hasn't gone, so... Maybe you should expect to see him, but I think he is one of the players that will be leaving the club as Capitania picks up his 7th goal of the season to seal the victory, I would say. I'm going to switch now to TV camera for the highlights because, of course, we want to see us lifting the trophy at the very end. Potentially could have gone to the 3D camera a bit prematurely because there's actually still 5 minutes to go and there's highlights going on in this lovely stadium. I think we're playing in Young Boys Stadium today. Obviously, it's meant to be a neutral venue, but... I've looked at the past final hosting locations, the venues for the final, the stadiums for the final. It's meant to be a neutral location, but we beat Basel last season in Basel Stadium. We have also won the cup in our own stadium, so it doesn't really make much sense, I've got to say, as Matthew Bottles with a free kick in added time, putting it wide of the mark. Come on then, clock tick down. We want to see us lifting the title. There you go. All the boys gathered round together, lifting that trophy up in the air. Haroldinho Bunce picks up his 8th yellow card of the season, well, right at the end, apparently. Hopefully that was for a celebration, like an untoward celebration. That'd be quite good. But another cup win for us. Congratulations to Grasshoppers. So Grasshoppers win the Swiss Cup again. That's the 4th time in... I keep thinking, yeah, it's 4th time in a row. Yeah, 4th time in a row. We lost that first time. So 5 finals in a row. 4 out of 5 is pretty good going. Interestingly, all our wins have come against different sides, which does show how good the Swiss Cup actually is at getting different teams to the final. Obviously, we've got 5 in a row, so that's a little bit different, but all the other teams have been different. It's still only the 2nd highest rated cup competition in Europe. Hopefully our 4th win in a row will take it up to number 1, but I'm not quite sure how far behind it is the FA Cup or how it even gets better than the FA Cup. I don't quite know. Who's won the FA Cup in recent years? Southampton, West Ham, Man City, Everton, Arsenal, Man City. Again, quite different winners, so that's quite interesting. But now, of course, our attention does turn to the league, where we do have to rest some players desperately, otherwise they will be dropping like flies for it. So we'll go to training and rest most of that first team, which is obviously pretty decent. Oh, I got very confused by this then, actually. But no, we've won 24 Swiss Cup games in a row, or have not been beaten, I suppose, for 24 Swiss Cup games in a row, because we've won it 4 years in a row. So we've been unbeaten in the Swiss Cup since 2022. It's now 2026. That is pretty impressive. As we head into the second game then against Luzern, this time obviously in the Swiss Super League, we do need to make some changes. Now, I was planning to swap Capitani around for Billy Schmitz, but he's actually suspended for today's game, so that makes it a bit easier to swap those two over. Guardado also needs to be swapped for Gauther because he is suspended too. So we'll get these guys off the bench as well. The rest hasn't really worked out for some players, notably Alex Smith, who's on a 79% condition. So he's got to come off the pitch, I've got to say, for, where is he? Not Sam Shelton, because Sam Shelton is injured. So, in that regard, Randy Schneider will move into the attacking field position, and then Alex Smith will come off for Juric. Other than that, though, I do want to keep a very strong lineup because this is a huge game that we need to win. So we want to try and keep the lineup as strong as possible, even though players like Cruz and Randy Schneider are very tired. Right then, that's the team. I'm going to submit it and go for it. That's the team. This is the team that I think is going to do it. Kickoff is, of course, once again upon us. Deja vu, because we are playing Luzern again. And again, we're in our black kit, they're in their white kit. So even more confusing. It just looks like it's a continuation of the same game as Gauther clears Luzern's shot off the line there superbly. Now, quite frustratingly, young boys aren't playing the same time as us. So even if we do win, I don't think we'll lift the trophy because there's always potential for... No, actually, if we do win, we win the title, don't we? If we lose, then we won't win the title automatically because there's always potential for young boys to catch us up then at that point. But hopefully, we'll get the business done against Luzern anyway. I mean, put it this way. If we play like we did in the Cup final against Luzern, then we should be winning this game very comfortably as Randy Schneider finds some space for himself, plays it out to Juric, who puts a great ball into Billy Schmitz, who's forced the keeper to make a great save there. Great bit of movement from us. Perhaps a little bit more experience and clinicality from some of the young players there. That would have gone in the back of the net. Unfortunately, though, we are finding ourselves very close to half-time, still drawing 0-0. And it's making me a little bit concerned because I just want to get the win and then we can win the league and we can all be happy and then look forward to the Europa League final tomorrow against Arsenal. As Bernard on the ball, plays it back towards Gauther. Gauther tackled. Luzern are through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Kalas, go on, make the save. He can't make the save. Luzern have gone 1-0 up. This is a disaster. This was not meant to happen. Okay then. So right before half-time, we have conceded and potentially a second goal for Luzern is coming as they look to bring the ball forward. Paolo Bernardo with a great save. Juric on the ball, looking to put it forward towards Bottles. What a ball that is. And Bottles, ever so close to scoring. Can't put it in the back of the net, but the highlight does continue through Paolo Bernardo on the edge of the area. Can we just equalise before half-time? That'll make things a lot easier for us as instead the ball's been cleared. Another counter-attack coming for Luzern, although we do get the tackling quite nicely as Bernard into Randy Schneider, back to Paolo Bernardo. Paolo Bernardo into Schneider. Schneider coming forward in the ball, out wide, gets into Billy Schmitz. Matthew Bottles is there. Matthew Bottles, shot saved again. Billy Schmitz, shot saved. The keeper for Luzern is playing a blinder today, I've got to say. And so at half-time, we are 1-0 down, which you hate to see because we need to win today, all right? We need to win if we want to win the league title today. Young boys have got to play Toon, and you'd imagine that young boys are going to be winning that game. In the meantime, though, we are 66 minutes of the game. What's happened just there? Bottles puts his shot wide. I swear I pressed start second half like 2 seconds ago, and already there's only 20 minutes to go in today's game. Bottles has played terribly, so Cole is going to come on the pitch for him to try and change things up. Billy Schmitz has let me down a bit today as well, so Bernard will swap over with him and Tim Wright will come on that left-hand side. But with 20 minutes to go, I'm not entirely convinced that they are going to go out there and change the game, which is a little bit frustrating as... I mean, we've won the cup against Luzern, that's important. Obviously, there's still another chance to go to win the league title, but really I thought we'd do it today as it has been put in the nets by Haroldinho Bunt in the 89th minute. Boys, you have got 2 minutes to come up with a winner here. 2 minutes. Felipe Cruz's free kick was put in the area. Haroldinho Bunt rises. He jumps higher than everyone else. That's what I'm trying to say. He jumps higher than everyone else, scores the goal, and I was too busy thinking of what word to use, and it means that Luzern have held out for a draw in those final few minutes. So, what it means is we're 6 points clear of Young Boys, but they've got a game in hand. They win that game in hand. They're 3 points behind us. So technically, we wouldn't have won the league title because they could still potentially overtake us, although goal difference is miles in our favour. So we have pretty much won the league there, but it's just not confirmed until Young Boys either lose to Toon or we have to beat who we play in the next game. Come on then, Toon. Come on, do us a big favour, beat Young Boys, and then we'll win the league title then and there, and we don't have to do Lugano in today's episode. I mean, of course, I'm happy to do Lugano in today's episode, but oh my god, Toon have gone and won it. Toon have actually gone and done it. They won against Young Boys, against all the odds, and it means that we have, despite losing to Luzern in today's episode, we have gone and won the double. Fantastic. Also just got a Steam achievement, Domination. You have won 3 consecutive top division league titles. You love to see it, lads. Although looking at this would suggest we haven't won 3 domestic league. We haven't, have we actually? We have won 3 in total because that's last season. That's season before. That's 4 seasons ago now. So this season's hasn't been updated yet. But still, we have only won 2 in a row, not 3 in a row. And I genuinely have just got this achievement. Hey, if I switch over to screen capture, you can see it, look. Domination, you have won 3 consecutive top division league titles. Obviously, Football Manager must be a little bit broken for some reason, but I'll take the achievement because I do love a good achievement. But what that does mean is we now have the chance to make it a treble, because tomorrow, coming up at 8 o'clock as a premiere, so make sure you're here at 8 o'clock UK time to watch it all together. Of course, if you're not available, it gets uploaded as a normal video afterwards. But tomorrow, 8 o'clock, we are taking on Arsenal in the Europa League final. That is going to be so exciting. So who have they got in this Arsenal side? I mean, they've got Bruno Fernandes, who's good, Guendouzi's good, Pepe's good, and Leno's in goal, but he must be pretty old now, surely, 34, and we might be able to take advantage of that. To be fair, I don't think they've got a wildly impressive side. I mean, it probably is better than ours. I mean, Max Collins, I assume, is a regen, so we can't really judge some of the regens and things like that. But, you know what? I think we might have a chance. I'm not going to lie to you. We actually have better youth facilities than Arsenal. They're valued at £2 billion, but we've got better youth facilities. They've got 4.5-star, both training and youth facilities, whereas we have 4.5-star training, but 5-star youth facilities. And only valued at £131 million. So we're literally £1.9 billion less than Arsenal. But we're facing each other in a huge game where, really, I think the teams are relatively even Stevens. Also quite interesting that our very interesting, our hot prospect is the guy that came through last episode who has 17 heading despite being a 5'5" right back with only 4 jumping reach. A little bit weird, but his potential ability is rocketed up to 4.5 stars. So if anyone on the Patreon is interested in having this guy as your regen, he's got 2-star current abilities, so he's probably going to be, well, potentially first choice next season if we can't get Cruz back and anyone else in. So potentially first choice right back next season, but hopefully he won't be, but definitely backup. So of course, if you do want a player named after you, get involved in the Patreon. Anyway, after all that excitement, we've done the double and we've got one more game to go this season. So join me tomorrow for that one. Until then, have a fantastic evening and drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great one. Goodbye.